Oh, oh, oh. Oh, yeah. The snow's gonna die.
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Anna and I hope that you're having an amazing day. So setup's a little different today. It's because I'm here doing a collab with some of my great friends here on YouTube, Hannah Rupp and Morgan Tim, and we're taking a mason jar and turning it into 3 different gift ideas. I'm food-based, I'm doing vegan food ideas that you can incorporate as a gift. Hannah's going to be focusing on fashion, and Morgan's going to be doing lifestyle. So I'll have their videos linked in the down bar, but I'm here today to show you some awesome, super simple, super easy gift ideas that you can use a mason jar for. So let's get to it. So the first recipe that we're going to do is a hot chocolate recipe. Then I'm going to show you how to put dough in a jar. And the last one is a no prep cookie in a jar recipe. So let's get to it. So what you're going to need is a bar of chocolate, cocoa powder, some coconut sugar, and cinnamon. What you're going to do is break your chocolate bar up into little pieces for you to chop up into finer pieces, so that way no one is choking on chocolate bits and they're drinking hot cocoa. Okay, so we've chopped our chocolate now, and we have the cocoa powder, the cinnamon, and the coconut sugar. And what we're going to do, you could blend this, by the way, if you didn't want to sit there and hand chop it. I just didn't want to get my food processor. It's a hassle. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our mason jar. We're going to... Now, I know that the point of the mason jar is to have that pretty layer, but the thing is that when someone goes to get this with their tablespoon or whatever measuring spoon they have, you want to make sure they're getting a little bit of everything. So we're not going to dump all of the chocolate in. We're just going to put a little bit at the bottom. So that way when someone gets to the bottom, they have some chocolate to work with. And now, you're supposed to add about 3 tablespoons of cocoa powder. So what I'm going to do is we're going to separate these layers. So kind of like each layer is its own drink. So we're going to make sure that there's a little bit. Now we're going to add a tablespoon of the cocoa powder and put that in there. Now we're going to get a tablespoon of coconut sugar. We're going to put that in there. And then we're going to put just a little pinch of cinnamon. Like I said, for that layer. I'm not really going to see the cinnamon, but hey, you know it's there. And then we're going to start this over. We're going to put a little bit of chocolate. That tablespoon of cocoa powder. And then that tablespoon of coconut sugar. You don't have to add the pinch of cinnamon, especially if you don't want it to be too spicy. I just wanted to add it in there. Once again, the layer. And you're basically just going to keep layering it up until all of your ingredients have been used. Do you want to add a little extra? Sure, this recipe is a serving of 4. So you have 4 little drinks in there. And like I said, the point of this was for the layers, but, you know, you can put a little label on it and say shake before use, so that way you get all the ingredients nicely well mixed. But you're doing it for the layers, you're doing it for the design of it. And okay, so in my mason jar here, it only fills it up about 1/4 of the way, but this was kind of just for me. If you wanted to keep adding layers, you definitely could. Just follow that ratio that I gave you of the tablespoon, tablespoon, tablespoon type of thing, so that way you're not adding too much chocolate, adding too much sugar. It's just the right balance. But you could also just get a smaller mason jar. I didn't have any on hand, so this is what I got. Keep in mind that the colors are kind of similar, so it's kind of hard to see the layers, but once you're close up, you can definitely catch it. If you want to add different spices to it, that's definitely an option. I'll leave them down below, but you can make peppermint, so adding a candy cane to the outside. You can add gingerbread and have gingerbread seasonings in there. You can spike it and have a little bourbon shot glass tied to the outside. There's so many ways to personalize it and mix it up that this gift is just so easy, so affordable, and just super easy to make. So let's move on to the next one, shall we? Okay guys, so the next one that we're going to move on to is the doll. Like I said, this is kind of a family gift. I have this huge mason jar, so let's hope that the recipe fits in this one. And what you're going to need are some yellow lentils. You can mix it up and you do green and red. I just happen to have yellow. I prefer yellow doll. You have to have some curry powder, some chili powder, and some turmeric. And be careful with the turmeric, this stains like no other. So I'm adding the lentils first, and it's gonna be about 1.5 cups. I'm doubling the recipe, so that way we can try and fill this mason jar. But you can use the recipe to your, devices and double it, triple it. So instead of dumping the seasoning straight into this jar, what we're gonna do is pre-package them. So I'm gonna add 1/2 teaspoon of turmeric in here. And remembering I'm doubling the recipe, so if you're singling this, you do 1/4. And then what you're gonna do is either Ziploc it, or in my case, I'm just gonna go like this and put it in the jar. Okay, so now we're gonna take the cumin and we're gonna do 1 teaspoon of that in here. And we're just gonna basically do this for every single spice. So it's 1 teaspoon of cumin, 1 teaspoon of chili powder, and then 1 teaspoon of the curry powder. If you have smoked paprika, that would be something good to add in. Just make sure that you don't put too much if the person doesn't like too much spice. But if you know the person, you know what they like in their food. And now we're gonna do the chili. Okay, so now that we've added all our spices in, all we gotta do is close it. You could label the spices each on the bag if you wanted to add that extra step in. And what you could do is you could add a bow to this. You could cover it with cloth and tie a ribbon around it so it looks a little bit more ethnic. There's so many ways you could decorate this, but this is a fun thing you could do. You could do a soup jar, look up a soup recipe and put all the dry ingredients in and just add broth. There's so many ways to do dinners in jar, but I thought I'd share a doll because I like Indian food, and I'm sure there's plenty of you out there that also enjoy Indian food too. The next recipe that we're going to go into is not really a recipe, but I'll show you that in the next one. Okay, so this last recipe is actually the easiest, great way to get a gift that looks like you put a lot of effort into it, but you actually didn't. So what I have here is a Betty Crocker cookie mix, and you can choose any type that you want. You can do Oreo chocolate chip, you can do chocolate chip, pick your poison. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna just dump this in here. And the reason why this is kind of a cheat is that the mix is already pre-made for you, so you don't have to go out and buy all the ingredients. All you gotta do is write your egg substitute and your milk substitute, your butter substitute, whatever it is. In this mix, I need butter, so I would offer their dairy substitute and then an egg. And I do a chia egg, but you can write any type of egg substitute that you want for this recipe and put that on your card. All you have to do is dump this mix in, tie a ribbon around it, and boom, it looks like you put a lot of effort into something that you didn't really. And it's just a great way for someone to have cookie mix. I don't know anyone who doesn't want cookie mix in their household to have and to hold whenever they want. And that is 3 mason jars in 3 different ways. I really hope that you enjoyed this. Please check out the other collab members in this video series. It would mean so much to me. And if you're not subscribed already, please press that red subscription button down below. It just means I pop into your feed whenever there's a new video out. And I hope that you have a happy holiday. Bye. Okay. That's cute. That's cute. That's cute, right?